Ladies and gentlemen, let's GameInformer video. We have a bit of a happy follow-up with Far Cry 4 key situation. So let's get everyone onto the same page. You probably know about this anyway, but good just to make sure we all know what's going on. So late last month, there was a report going about. It started on websites such as Reddit and also NeoGAF that people were having certain games removed from their Uplay inventory. For example, Far Cry 4, let's just use that as an example, but there was also Watch Dogs supposedly and Assassin's Creed Unity. Now, after a bit of digging, it was quite obvious that the reason behind this is people had, well, the common link anyway, was because people had bought those CD keys from Kinguin, G2A and a few other websites. So what happened is that apparently the people who had sold those keys through Kinguin and G2A had bought those keys fraudulently from Origin. At least this is how the story went. And so let's imagine person A bought the keys from a stolen credit card. They sold those on Kinguin or G2A. Person B bought those keys, not knowing, of course, they're fraudulent, and therefore Uplay basically locked off the keys. However, despite the fact that they don't actually technically, at least as far as I'm aware, they don't have to technically do this, Ubisoft have gone ahead and actually enabled some of the keys. They've said, and I quote, "After further investigation into the matter of the keys that were fraudulently purchased on EA's Origin store, we've reinstated the keys for customers who have already successfully activated and started to play the games. However, any remaining fraudulently obtained and resold keys have been deactivated." So in other words, if you haven't played the game yet, or you know that key's been left in someone's inventory and it hasn't yet been used, let's say for example, you know, it's just been kind of kept in a notepad file, then bad news for you. However, Ubisoft are very keen to stress that they're going to be working very closely with Electronic Arts. They do not want this happening again, and they will continue to disable any keys which are obtained fraudulently and then resold. And then of course they gave the normal advice, which is, well, if you want to buy games, if you want to buy digital games, make sure that you either get them from a Uplay shop or a trusted retailer. In other words, your Amazons, your Green Man Gamings, your Steams, your Origin, and so on. In other words, make sure that you trust the source of the key implicitly. It is worth noting that G2A, Kinguin, and all of the other affected websites have protested their innocence. They said, hey, it wasn't really our fault. We are issuing refunds of the affected customers. So I don't personally use grey market websites. I don't want therefore to give a bad opinion of them. My personal opinion on this, it's kind of up to you whether you use them. Obviously you run the risk at the end of the day. However, if you've had good experience, you trust them, and you've had refunds on them, then absolutely all the power to you. Just be aware that some developers really don't like you using them. And I have spoken to a couple of developers, and they pretty much said, well, at the end of the day, I'd actually rather you pirate them than using grey market keys. So I guess it kind of depends on your perspective on this. I don't want to tell you to do one thing or the other. What I would say, however, if you are unsure, if you don't feel 100% confident, just buy the game through a, you know, standard means. Get something from Green Man Gaming. I know I keep pointing them out, but you know, one of my friends wanted to buy Football Manager. I said, hey, you can get the game for like £15. Honestly, not my thing, but hey, Football Manager, I mean, not my game at all. You can get it for like £15, and then you could apply like a 20% off code. And then of course you've got Steam with its deal. So I think if you're not like super flush with cash, just wait, shop around a little bit and get the game as cheap as possible. But I will say, despite all my criticisms, and I have given quite a few to Ubisoft, I think they've handled this pretty well. It does suck for the people who aren't going to have their title reactivated, so all you can do at the end of the day is to obviously pressure up Kinguin, G2A, and basically hope for the best that your keys will be at the very least refunded, or at least you get your money back. From what I've heard, There are guards in place with some of the websites, not all of the websites, but some of them have issued refunds even if you've not got a guard in place. But I think it depends on the seller and so on, so it's kind of a murky area, to be totally honest with you. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video and found it at least a little bit of a silver lining to this kind of mess, to be totally blunt. But for now, I'm going to leave you to it. Take care, and bye for now.